Hi guys, welcome to another episode of SCN. On today's show we are joined by the legendary Mr. Paul de Klerk from Backdraft Racing. He's the head charmer in the snake pit, as they say. And to end off with, we've got some killer videos highlighting these backdraft cars we're talking about. Paul, thanks very much for joining us this morning.
Morning, Nick.
Paul's tough to get out of the workshop, I've got to tell you. He's probably the hardest working technician in the industry, building some of the finest cars around. Paul, tell us a little bit about the history of Backdraft Racing.
Originally, Backdraft began in 2000. They were doing a few hand-built cars for export. After about 6 months, it grew and actually ended up producing a dedicated factory with a proper production line, with the engineering, the composites, painting and assembly, and obviously part supply, because you have to have that added on as well. So now it's up to the stage of where they're doing 12 to 18 cars a month.
Wow, so it's a proper production facility.
Proper production facility, state-of-the-art stuff.
And in terms of the cars, in comparison with what's going on in the rest of the world, Backdraft Racing produced some of the finest cars in town?
It has. Backdraft actually taken a huge chunk of the Cobra market worldwide. Okay, where in the last little while, even in the States, a lot of the Cobra manufacturers there have closed.
Wow.
Yeah.
And Backdraft Racing is still going strong. There is a big difference, I know, between Backdraft Racing Cobras and a lot of the other Cobras that you see on the road. And intrinsically, what are some of the big differences?
Well, the big difference is you now have a modern hand-built production car, where the quality standards are high.
Yeah.
You obviously have the backyard guy who's the enthusiast building his own car with his own budget.
Yes.
Where you are now having a production built car that has a standard that has to be maintained.
And all new component, new engines,
all new components, new engines, new gearboxes.
That does set it apart from, as you said, a lot of the guys that are enthusiasts are using old engines, old gearboxes because of cost. Obviously, the guys like to keep them down. But in terms of the build quality, there's a massive difference in what comes out of your production facility and what the guys are making.
It's a totally modern sports car.
And also the big difference again is the financeability. You can finance a Backdraft Cobra, whereas you can't finance it.
Yeah, you can finance it. It's recognized by the insurance companies. The other thing is it has a MEEDS code, so it maintains a value.
Yeah.
And most of the time, the value is better than most production other cars.
Yeah. And in terms of choice, from an engine gearbox point of view, there's a lot of options in terms of what I can put into a new Backdraft.
Yeah, you can have a baseline car, little 4 litre with an automatic or manual, and then you can go to something a little bit bigger, or you can go to something that's a real animal on the road.
Yeah, I can only imagine. But all of that's obviously cost related. An entry-level, brand new Backdraft out of the box with a bottom-of-the-range engine, or a bottom-of-the-range in terms of what you guys produce?
You're looking at $499 out of the box with the 12-month warranty.
Okay.
So that's your entry-level car.
A nice entry-level car.
Yeah, then you go up to something a little bit more powerful. That'll cost you about $575, and then you can go up to whatever you feel like.
The sky's the limit in terms of what you put into these cars. And in terms of running a Cobra, once you've got a Backdraft Cobra on the road, your annual running costs, again, related to the mileage, and I know the guys don't do big mileage.
Well, running costs is also, because it's new, it's modern, there's no real running costs as such. There's, you've got a new engine, you've got a new gearbox, the rest of the stuff is new.
Yeah.
So your running cost is actually not that high. If you had to relate it to any other sports car, it's a lot cheaper.
I can imagine, and also you're doing an annual service rather than mileage services.
Yeah, you do.
The limited mileage being done every year. From a resale point of view, that's the one thing we always talk about on the show: the difference between buying a production car new and taking a big hit when it comes to getting sold. You think the market's quite strong on used Backdrafts?
The resale is good. I have a list of people who want to have a Backdraft the minute it comes back in second hand. So. And they do maintain their value. It's like I've had very, very few of them drop in value.
Oh, that's good to know. That does set this car apart from all the others out there. In terms of build time on a car, if I buy a car from you, if I order a car from you, what kind of turnaround time?
You're looking between 8 and 12 weeks.
Okay, that's quite good.
Depending on your engine, what you would like, and obviously you can choose your color, you can choose your interior, and it's basically comes down to production time.
Wow, so you can get a car in 12 weeks, that's good to know. So we're talking about buying yourself a performance car, anywhere from 350,000 Rand on a used car, all the way up to 700,000 Rand for a brand new production car out of the box. To me, that's got to represent some of the best value for money in the world. I kid you not, in the world. We've been talking a lot about these cars. Check out some of these videos and watch them in action.
Just ahead.
How nice were those? Get yourself down to Randburg, go and meet Paul at the Snake Pit. He will introduce you to a whole new way of life. Paul, thanks very much for joining us this morning.
Thanks for having me, Nick.
Thanks guys for watching. Don't forget to smash that like button and check out the original videos on the link below. Like us on Facebook, subscribe if you haven't already, and follow us on Twitter. I've been Nick, it's been real. See you soon.
Surf4Cars.
C-O-Z-A.